Alright everyone, time for another battery comparison, this time between a Samsung Galaxy S25 that just came out, the iPhone 16, the Pixel 9 Pro XL, the iPhone 16 Pro, the Galaxy S24, and that is not included because that's just doing the timing. Now, as you can see, they are all at their max brightness, although with my Galaxy S25, it does actually look like this brightness isn't all the way high, so I wonder why that's the case, but it shows to me that it is the highest. Now, when we take a look at all of them, you can see all of them are at their max brightness. All of them have the applications all cleared out in the background as well, except for that one just right there. So whatever I do on one phone, I'm going to be doing on the other. So no matter what I do, they're all going to be doing the exact same thing. So it's not like one's going to be doing something else. They're all going to be doing the exact same thing. They all have their apps cleared out in the background, and we'll check in every once in a while and kind of see where their batteries are at. So for the first hour, I'm just going to be playing a YouTube video, and then probably playing Temple Run 2 and just letting them die out from there. So we'll check back in about every hour or so and kind of see where we're at. So for the first hour, we'll just kind of do that. So it's been exactly 1 hour since this comparison started. Hopping out of all of these applications, and all I did was play Temple Run 2 with this video playing at the same time so then the phones don't die out. And you can see that we're on varying battery lives. Now the Galaxy S25 is at 92%, which is pretty good. The iPhone 16 is at 96%. The Google Pixel 9 Pro XL is at 93%, which I'm actually surprised about, that the 16 is doing better than this. The 16 Pro is at 94%, and the Galaxy S24 is at 92%. So right now the iPhone 16 is doing the best, which I'm actually pretty surprised about. The Pixel 9 Pro XL right behind it, but the Pixel 9 Pro XL has such a big battery and it's such a big phone that you would imagine that this phone would be like number one, but I guess not. The Galaxy S25 is also doing worse than the iPhone 16 Pro, is doing slightly better than the Galaxy S24. So right now the S25 is not looking too good if I'm being honest, but let's check back in about another hour and see where we're at. So I'm going to do the exact same thing once again, just play Temple Run 2 and let them die out again. Okay everyone, another hour has passed, and I actually ended up upgrading my camera. Well, I brought my older camera that's way nicer than the current one I was filming with, so that's why there's like probably a change in quality somewhat. Now, my Galaxy S25 right now is at 84%, my iPhone 16 is at 88%, my Pixel 9 Pro XL is at 84%, very surprising, my iPhone 16 Pro 85%, and my Galaxy S24 at 82%. Now, I'm very happy that I picked my Pixel 9 Pro XL. This is the most surprising part to me, because this phone I thought was going to do better, but it's actually kind of doing the worst. Basically it's tied with the Galaxy S25, which I'm really surprised about. My iPhone 16 is doing the best, which is really, really good. This one does have I guess technically like the least powerful panel here, because this is less as bright. It's not as bright as these three phones, the Androids. But it's also lower, like frames per second, 60 hertz compared to the 120 hertz on the rest of these phones. So it kind of makes sense, but let's go and kind of go for another hour doing the exact same thing. I want to say that towards the end of it, the Galaxy S24 is probably going to die first, but then my Pixel 9 Pro XL might actually die second, which that is going to be very surprising to me. So let's check back in about another hour and see where we're at. Okay, everyone, another hour has passed. I'm like kind of accurate this time. Usually I'm like a few seconds late. This time I'm like even before it becomes the next hour. Now, the Galaxy S25, 76%, the iPhone 16 Pro, 80%, Pixel 9 Pro XL, 74%, iPhone 16 Pro, 75%, and the Galaxy S24 at 72%. So right now, the Galaxy S24 is still doing the worst. The Galaxy S25 doing slightly better than the iPhone 16 Pro. The Galaxy S24, the Google Pixel 9 Pro XL doing worse than the Samsung Galaxy S25. So that's another interesting thing. So far my iPhone 16 is doing the best. Very surprised about that. So we'll let them go for another hour and we'll check back in. Another hour has passed and we can take a look at where we are at now. Now when I hop out of all of these, you can see that my Samsung Galaxy S25 is at 67%, iPhone 16 72%, Pixel 9 Pro XL 64%, iPhone 16 Pro 65%, and the Galaxy S24 at 62%. So still the iPhone 16 is still doing the best. The Pixel 9 Pro XL is now doing worse than the Galaxy S25, which is very surprising to me. So I would assume in the next couple of hours, maybe the Pixel 9 Pro XL is going to be still in second place and the Galaxy S24 is going to be in last place, but still relatively around the same. So let's check back in about another hour and see where we're at. So I think about 2 hours have passed and we are at the 6 hour mark. Now, hopping out of all these, we can see that we're getting closer somewhere. Still got a couple more hours left. The Samsung Galaxy S25 is at 50%, iPhone 16 56%, Google Pixel 9 Pro XL 43%, iPhone 16 Pro 45%, and the Galaxy S24 at 41%. So right now, still the Galaxy S24 doing the worst, Pixel 9 Pro XL in second place, 16 Pro basically in third place, and the 16 still winning and the Galaxy S25 in second place. So let's go and give it another hour. I wish there was a faster way to kill these all, because at 6 hours, we're still having probably like another 6 hours to go. So let's go and kind of wait and see what happens. So we are at the 7 hour and 10 minute mark, and I think I found the answer of draining the batteries even more, and that's by turning on the flashlight. So I just went and turned on the flashlight on all these phones, and that actually diminished the battery by quite a bit. So let's go and take a look at them now. And if you go and take a look at them, you can see that my Galaxy S25 currently is at 36%. The iPhone 16 Pro is at 39%. Google Pixel 9 Pro XL is at 28%. My iPhone 16 Pro is at 24%. And my Galaxy S24 is at 25%. So the Galaxy S24 still is in last place, followed by the Pixel 9 Pro XL, followed by the 16 Pro. The Galaxy S25 did end up lasting quite a bit longer than the previous generation of devices. The Pixel 9 Pro XL still confuses me, but the iPhone 16 is at 39%, beating all the other devices. So we will check back in another hour, and we will see where we are at that point. We are now at the 8 hour mark, and we're going to be at varying battery lives. The Google Pixel 9 Pro XL randomly kicked into battery saving mode at the percentage it was, so keep that in mind, but I kicked it out of it immediately. My Galaxy S25 is at 26%, my iPhone 16 Pro at 26%, my Google Pixel 9 Pro XL is at 17%, the iPhone 16 Pro is at 9%, so this one looks like it might die first before the Galaxy S24. My S24 is at 13%. So like I said, all of them, the big thing that I changed was I turned on the batteries on all of them. So that looks like the thing that could have ended up changing it for a lot of these devices. So we'll let them go back for another hour. I think in the next hour, 2 phones might end up dying. These 2 might end up dying, or maybe these 3 might end up dying, and then we'll have these 2 we'll mess around with. So let's go and wait another hour. We'll check back in another hour and see where we're at. So a lot of movement in the last hour. You can see that the iPhone 16 Pro was actually the first one to die out at the 8 hour and 36 minute mark. The Galaxy S24 ended up dying at the 8 hour and 52 minute mark. So these other phones that are left over, my Galaxy S25 is at 13%, the iPhone 16 now is at 11%, and the Pixel 9 Pro XL is at 4%. So that is something that is very surprising. At the tail end of this particular comparison, the iPhone 16 right here at 11% is now in second place. The Galaxy S25 did overtake it. There's something about that flashlight being on that really kind of changes the way this particular comparison goes. So I don't know what it is with the flashlights. They're all at their max brightness as well, so it's not like one's dimmed out more than the other one. So that is also something that's surprising to me. So we'll give it another hour. I'm pretty sure we're probably going to be at the end of it anyway, because these phones are probably going to die at that point. So we will check back in whenever these ones die, and we'll go from there. And the Samsung Galaxy S25 just literally ended up dying right now as I was about to film this video. You might have seen that Samsung logo. So at the 10 hour and 9 minute mark, the Samsung Galaxy S25 did end up lasting the longest. What a crazy turnover of events. The Samsung Galaxy S25 started off kind of being like in second place, third place kind of situation, then it slowly ended up becoming the best. Now, what was very surprising to me was that with the Samsung Galaxy S25, this phone didn't even end up really kind of coming up above the lead until I turned the flashlight on these phones. The reason why that's so important is because performance and just showing a video and showing a game does kind of one thing, but when you start using more mechanisms within the phone, when you start turning on the flashlight, using the cameras, using the ringtone, even the vibration motors in your phone, things like that, every phone is optimized differently for those things. So that's why with the Samsung Galaxy S25, for this phone kind of dying the way it did and then coming back at the end was very surprising to me. This phone lasted more than like an hour, almost 2 hours longer than the Galaxy S24, which is very surprising. It lasted about like 30 minutes more, 20 something minutes more than the iPhone 16. And even than the iPhone 16 Pro, this phone lasted much longer than that. So that's something that's very surprising to me. Now, again, if you're wanting the one that was the most surprising to me, it was the Pixel 9 Pro XL. I'm not really too sure why, but I thought this phone was going to last longer. I thought this one was going to last the longest. Unfortunately, that did not end up being the case. So this one still had a decent battery life, 9 hours and 12 minutes, but it didn't even beat the iPhone 16. And this one having such a big size battery, I'm not really too sure why it didn't last that long. Maybe it has something to do with a tensor chipset or something like that, but we'll take it as we get it. But that is basically this battery comparison that we've seen from these phones. So I would love to hear your thoughts about this. Let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, help me so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.